Okay, third time lucky. This is my quick tutorial on how to fit a kill switch, as you see here, onto a pit bike, dirt bike, or any sort of bike that uses a coil pack. If you don't know what coil pack, then you look it up on Google or something. But yeah, this kill switch is a bog standard kill switch. It's just earths the spark which comes from the coil, which is meant to be going to the spark plug. That's all it does basically. And in there is just little, I'm not sure if you can see from the side, but it's a little piece of metal that when you push it, it earths onto the handlebar, which goes onto the frame and so forth. Anyway, you want to find, which on this bike's quite easy, which is a Demon X 125 CRF 50 frame. You just, if you can't find it, then just follow. You take out the spark. Well, you don't need to take out the spark plug. Well, HT lead and the spark plug. You just follow the large black cable, which then goes into one of these sort of things, which is called a coil pack. And all it does is produces high voltage from where in the stator plates, which is around here. They generate the energy and then goes into this coil pack, which then produces it into like 40,000 or 20,000 volts, something like that. Hardly any amps, otherwise it would just fry up the cables. But yeah, it just produces a load of volts, which makes the little arc, which is the spark basically. And the trick is to find out which one of these connectors here, don't worry about any of these, this one goes to the earth up here. This one goes up to the earth up here. But you don't need to worry about that one because you're going to be earthing the main spark. So if it's going to go into the earth, the bike wouldn't start in the first place. So I've already found it, obviously, otherwise I wouldn't be doing this tutorial. But there's a way of knowing how, which you can still do because I'm not pressing the button to be able to turn the bike off. Which is if you get either some copper cable or some wire or something, you can test it out by touching each end, one on the metal and one on each thing, and that'll make a sufficient earth. And obviously I did it before, but I'll quickly show you that. Now, 1 second. So it doesn't stop if I do on the top one, so I'll try the bottom one. That's the one that I've actually got the kill switch onto. See that? Just kills it straight away. So that by doing that, that's how you know it's the right one. But obviously don't take the actual connector off, otherwise it won't start in the first place, which is the reason why I had to third time lucky, as you heard from the start. But yeah, all I've done is we want to make sure as you run the cable, either run it with a wire going up to the handlebars anyway, which I've done it most of the way. I've run it onto the clutch cable. So as you see here, I zip tied it all the way up, making sure it's slack. And if you run it up with some kind of cable that's the manufacturers have put there, you know it's not going to pinch on the way up. But where the steering is, you want to keep where this, you see how much slack there is, you want to keep as much slack as you can. So when you're doing jumps, turns, all that sort of stuff, the suspension and the steering moving up and down, you don't want to pinch it and then you end up not being able to start the bike because it's creating a earth somewhere along the lines, which you're going to create an earth anyway when you press this button. So theoretically it won't start or it won't run. It'll just suddenly die on you. But yeah, the finished bit is basically, so once you've got this is off a Mini Moto, which is like cheap as anything, probably get like £2 on eBay or something like that. So if I start the bike up, there you go. See, quite simple. And you can probably tell that this bike's it's got quite a bit of compression. runs quite well, but it runs so well you can actually start it with your hand, which is quite. I'll quickly show you. There you go. Soon I'll be putting a rev limiter on this thing, because of one thing that people with these pit bikes don't realise is they don't come with a rev limiter stock. What they think they're hearing as a rev limiter is actually valve bouncing, which in obviously, because it's a 4-stroke, a 2-stroke would just die on you if it happens. Well, most motocross 2-strokes actually have rev limiters on them anyway, but because they're 2-stroke, they're revving much faster, so you can't actually hear the pause in between the strokes. With a 4-stroke, you can hear it's quite an obvious sound, but with valve bouncing, it sounds similar, but the actual what's happening inside is the valve springs, when they decompress and compress, they're doing it so often every time the compression and then the intake ratio, all that sort of the 4-cycle, because it's obviously a 4-cycle engine, the valves are moving up and down so quickly that they start to bounce, and that's what it is, like around 9,000, 8,000 RPM on these little pit bikes. That starts to happen. So if you keep on putting it on what you think is a rev limiter, which is not, which is the actual engine not being able to put up with how much revs you're putting into it, and you'll break the bike, and that's why quite a lot of pit bikes break. So I'll be putting in a rev limiter that I can actually let my either 8-year-old or 8-year-old brother or something be able to ride this thing without killing himself, basically. Being too powerful. Well, it's only a 125, so it's not powerful at all, but yeah, so I'll be doing that in the future. So if you like this video, then I can show you how to put a rev limiter on the onto a pit bike, moped, motorbike, or whatever. I've got it on my moped at the moment, which is quite easy enough, because I managed to tune that up quite well. But it's the same principle, basically. Like where I've put the kill switch, it's basically killing out strokes. It'll be able to sense the strokes, because it's a little box which you can get from most places, and you can tune it up right, because there's 2 little dials you have to tune, and you can set it to the right RPM by slowly doing that, and it comes with a switch. So I'll try and do a video for that. Anyway, thank you for watching. Rate and like, well, no rate, but like and subscribe if you want to see the rev limiter video. Alright, thank you very much. Bye.